Hi and welcome back to my channel Light in the Lantern. So today I want to talk about calling on beings. Now what does that mean? Beings are things that you can't see. They are also things that you can see. I'm not talking about human beings. I'm talking about beings like angels, entities, or whatever else you want to call them. You can call them fairies, but some people may refer to them as that. And this is a very important video because we are calling on beings that we know nothing about, and they could be demons. Okay, and you could be opening up doors to all sorts of chaos to come into your life. Now, it's different if you know them. You've had a cup of tea with them, you've been on a date with them, you, you know their favorite colors, that's different. But you don't know these beings, and you're calling upon these beings only because somebody else wrote something about them, and throughout thousands and thousands and thousands of years, it's been passed down, passed down, passed down. And just because somebody said that there's an angel called such and such and such, you started to believe in it. I have myself. In my early years, I've believed in a lot of things, and then, but sometimes that's the only way you can discover what is real and what's not real. Sometimes you have to be involved in things in order to come out of it to realize, that wasn't pure. Okay. So just be careful what you're calling on. Just because you can go on the internet and somebody says, "I'll call on this being, they will bring money, they will bring abundance, they will bring deliverance, they remove dark energy." No, you don't believe in those things, because these beings could be absolutely anything. And I'm sure you now realize that in today's world there's a lot of creepy stuff going on. There's a lot of shapeshifters. And if you don't believe that's happening, that's fine. But it really is real. People do shapeshift. Some people who you feel that are real and they're human, they're not. They're not real humans. And I can sense when somebody's not real. I also can see in someone's eyes when they're not fully in their body. Some of these celebrity people, when I see them on TV, I look and I think, then that's what you're looking at is not them. Their soul has been sold off somewhere else, and there's something else operating their body. Yes, it's really creepy. So it's the same when you call on beings. They can mimic, and some of them can mimic light, and that's what I call false light. And they can mimic light and make you feel so warm and so gentle. But if you're awakened and really highly sensitive like I am, you can sense false light a million miles away, because false light can't be, it can't pretend to be pure. And that's why sometimes you come around people and they're smiling, happy, warm, and bright, but deep down inside, you're sensing something's not right. It's because it's false. There's an irritation that comes around you when you're around people that are pretending to be of the light. And you get a lot of this on this platform here, where people are taking other people's messages, and then they try and mimic you and make everybody think that they are the ones who have got this wisdom and this glow about them. But when you really look at them after a couple of seconds, you think, no, this isn't really that person's message, because when they're speaking, they're not owning what they're speaking to. And you can also tell by their eyes as well. You just look at their eyes, look at their face, and you can tell they have no truth or light in them. But anyway, that's not what this message is about. So back to the beings. So this is not to offend anybody. You believe in what you want to believe in, because as I said, in the early years, I believed in, for example, Archangel Michael. I'm not saying that Archangel Michael isn't real, or that he didn't exist, but all I'm saying is I don't know him. I've never met him in person. I don't know whether he was a good thing or not. I don't know. So therefore, I stopped calling on him. And also, when you're calling on beings, you're going outside of yourself. And what does that mean? That means that you're saying, I have no power. These beings have power over me. They have more power. No, You have the power inside of you to heal yourself and heal the world. When you cultivate the power that's in you, you don't need outside help. You don't need to call on any angels. Calling on these things externally, you're actually giving away your power. Did you know that? You're giving away your power because you're saying, I'm powerless. Okay? The minute you stop calling on things and you look within and trust your power, trust your own protection is your energy. Once your vibration gets big, it becomes your protection. You will realize that your energy will stop seeping out. You realize that you will no longer feel drained because you're not giving it away to something else. So be careful what you're calling in. Be careful what you're calling in. And it's very dangerous to go by whatever other people are saying. For example, I used to be into crystals, but I stopped using crystals now. They serve their purpose though. There's definitely some energy with crystals. They're not just stones or dead stones. There's definitely something magical about crystals because they helped me in my very, very, very early years. But then as I became more awakened and my vibration became more sharp, I realized that they can't help me. They can't help me the way in how I really needed to be helped. And what was that? I needed to find out who I was, and I needed to find out that I actually have the power to protect myself, to remove witchcraft, to stand in the middle of a crowd that's full of negative energy and transform that energy into positive energy. I needed to know and see that I could do all these things because up until that point, I was believing and putting all that hope into crystals. And you see, we're also expecting these things to do things that they can't. So we get disappointed. If you hold a crystal and it doesn't do what you wanted it to do, we get disappointed. But the crystal was probably only, for example, a crystal that's supposed to induce love feelings, yes? And you're expecting this crystal to remove black magic and it doesn't, and then you get disappointed because that crystal wasn't meant to get rid of black magic. Does that make sense? It's like if you use sage, I love sage. That's the only thing that I will continue to use is sage. If you can pull up with the scent, because sometimes it can smell like, you're smoking something. In the past, I've heard neighbours say, that woman's smoking stuff. But it's not, it's sage. It can smell a little bit, a little bit like that. Sage is wonderful. In the early years, I used to get frustrated because I was expecting sage to get rid of some really deep, dark energies, and it couldn't. It cleanses your room, it cleanses objects, it can cleanse your aura, your being. But these are only just temporary things. These are only temporary things. But now I've learnt about sage. I only use sage, very rare I use sage now, but I only use sage when the place feels a little bit strange, or if I've been around a lot of people with negative energy and I just feel like I need just that little extra help. I always look at it as just a tool just to give me extra help. I don't look at it as something like, oh, please help me. Oh, like it's my be all and end all of life anymore. I don't hold on to these things like that anymore because I know I have the power to clear anything I want to. I can walk into a room or a space, and with the right focus and the right vibration, I can clear down anything I want to. I can command in anything I want to, and I can command anything to leave my body, leave my spirit, leave my space now. Now, if you were to rewind back, say, another 7, 8 years, I wouldn't even be holding this selfie stick with this camera speaking to you. No, I'd be someplace else, a complete mess energetically. But thankfully, I found myself. So just be careful. I'm not judging anybody because, as I said, I had to start from somewhere, And it's good to call on things, it's good to try things, because then you can move on and say, it's not for me. Unless you try, you won't know. Unless you try, but just be aware of what you're praying to, because I've also got an issue with ancestors, worshipping, bigging up, calling in ancestors. It's very creepy, very dark, very dangerous, because when you think about it, you're just calling on the dead, right? You're calling on dead spirits. Did you know who they were? Your ancestors of 200, 300, 500, 1,000 years ago, since dead? Were they good people? For all you know, they could have been savages. They could have been doing dark stuff to people. They could have been really evil. And you're wanting to have an altar and honor them. Honor them for what? Unless you knew them, then that's different. But still, even if you knew them, why are you worshipping them? You shouldn't be worshipping anything, to be honest. You shouldn't be giving your soul or your life to anything. To give your soul and your life to something is witchcraft, because that's what witchcraft is. It's the manipulation and the domination of your soul, of your life and your mind. And what they're wanting you to do is give up your soul and your life. So you shouldn't be giving your life to anything. You know, I know this isn't going to be a good message for some people, but please don't be offended. If you're not happy with it, then just take the bits that you are happy with and just leave the rest for other people who need to hear this message. But I'm going to say this, and I know that it may offend some people. I was brought up in the church. Thank goodness I'm not there anymore. And when I left, my life improved. And it's only in the last 3 years I was prompted to look at giving your life to this being. I don't want to say the name, but giving your life to, what in Christianity, yes? And I started to ponder on that and thought, but you shouldn't be giving your life, your soul to anything. It's your soul. It's your core. Why are you giving your soul away? That's witchcraft. How can that be normal? Now I'm out of it, I'm realizing how abnormal that was. So then I had to start to call back my soul, because my vibration came so high that it showed me that I needed to call a part of me back. So I had to call myself back, call my soul back, call myself back, call myself back from you know what. And you know what? Amazing. Amazing. We are so conned. We are so fooled. We are so fooled. I wish I could tell everybody this, but when you do, they say that you're of the devil. When you say messages like this, they say that I need deliverance or something. But in fact, now somebody who's been on the other side and now on this side, I can see that actually the people giving their souls to you know what, and worshipping every day and reading a book that nobody knows who wrote, because it was passed down from hand to hand to hand, to from king to king to king, to queen to queen to queen, and things have been added and added, and they're just full of stories, inspirational stories though. I must admit, there's some stories in there I absolutely love, so inspirational. But yeah, you just get branded as being possessed because you're speaking the truth, basically. So I know this is not going to be comfortable for everybody, but it's been a long time I've wanted to share this, but I've been too scared of being branded as something evil. But now I can look at those people who do worship and read the Bible and all sorts of things. I look at them with sadness, and I've noticed they always look sad. They always sound sad, just like I used to be when I was in it. And when you look at the praise and worship song videos, it's so sad. They give me a sad vibration. There's no high vibration in in the songs or or what they're singing. There's nothing there's nothing happy. It's all sad songs like I give my soul to you. You bled and died for me. And things like that. It's just so sad, and everything that they talk about, which is what I used to do. This is why I feel comfortable talking about this, because I'm not judging anyone, because I was there. And everything they talk about is God said he would do this, and it's because of God this, and it's because of God why this, and God this, God that. What about you? What about you? What about you? None of this exists. None of this exists. You are the power that you are seeking. And as soon as I moved on, my life flourished. When I was there, I was so depressed. There was no love. It was all about making money and pulling the wool over your eyes and transference of spirits. Okay? So I know this is a strong message, and I know there's millions that are going to be grateful for this video today, and I know there's also going to be a lot of people that are not going to like this, but hey, it's a free world, free speech. I have the right to say what I have to say, but it's not to offend anybody. I'm not saying that you are a bad person if you are somebody that's given your soul and worship and read the Bible. I'm not saying you're a bad person at all, because you know what? I think that in the early years, it was church that saved me, because my life and my family were going in a kind of a weird direction. So when this woman introduced church to me, I think in my early years, it saved me. But then as I grew up, I realized that actually it's it's an imprisonment of the mind. It's manipulation. And a lot of the practices, even if you read the Bible, a lot of the practices is witchcraft. It's witchcraft. So when people are saying that people like me, they may brand people like me as, oh, new age this, new age that. There's nothing new about what I'm doing, because everything I'm talking about is natural. It's from the soul. It's from my personal experiences. So yeah, there you go. So be careful what you're calling in, because the reason why you're feeling the way you are, or the reason why your life is blocked and stuck, and you feel like you're constantly stuck in a loop, is probably because of the beings that you're calling in, and what they do, they've attached themselves to you. But it's nothing to fear, because you can get rid of them. And if you go to my website, lightinalantern.co.uk, click on links, there's a wealth of resources there, free resources that you can watch videos, immerse yourself in them, and come to your own conclusions, because I'm not here to tell you what to do. But I'm definitely here to say to you today that all the things that I've mentioned in this video, nothing to be afraid about, and it's all about personal choice. And I'm not saying that people are bad because of what they're into. No, not at all. Look at me. I went in it, and look at me. I'm a good person, and I didn't turn out to be evil or bad. Some of us just have to go through things to figure out things for ourselves. If you don't go through things, you never know. I'm glad I went through the church stuff, because now I know. Now I don't have to sit here and wonder and say, I wonder if. Yes? No. I love my life. I love the way I've empowered myself. I've made myself powerful, and it took a long time for me to believe that I can actually call upon my own power to protect me. I don't need a god. I don't need a statue. I don't need an altar. I don't need to burn a candle. I don't need to do evil, nasty things to people. I don't need to speak negatively of people as well, or bring people down. I don't need to focus my energy on people and say, right, I'm going to bring you down today. No, no, wherever I go, people love to be around me. And that makes me feel amazing to think that strangers come up to me and say, you've got a lovely smile, or, oh, just not, after being around you, I feel amazing. That makes me feel great. To think that I've come on earth to share light. I've not come here to share darkness. I'm so pleased that my life didn't go in another direction when I was younger. So thank you, Christianity, for my childhood, because you saved me. You put me back somewhere so that I could reach here today and do this video and help empower the human race. So that's all I want to share with you today. Have a wonderful day, and please don't be offended. This is all about love, and I'll see you in my next video for another cup of tea. Bye for now.